Zebec, ISO confirmed. Nat Pay, Bloomberg Index. Lot of interesting news coming up for you here on the show. But first, as always, cue our guy, Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Boom. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe I was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on our Blackrue Investing. Best believe I was Blackrue Investing. That course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe I was Blackrue Investing.
And we have a decent wallet, a new one, and a BTCC commercial. We're going to play that now. I have many friends earning money every day trading futures on BTCC. It's simple. Even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you can follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you. And you'll earn according to his trades. So even if you don't know how to trade, there's a way to make money. Earn some extra money on BTCC. Of course, you should learn how to trade. Links to the Patreon are in the description. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to use a VPN. It's a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn extra money, you can store it in your DCENT Wallet. DCENT Wallet is safe, easy to use, and it allows crypto swaps within the wallet. It's a wonderful product. You can get the discount by using the link. The only way to get the discount is to use the link. The link is popping up in the upper right-hand side of your screen. You can also get free shipping. Pick up your DCENT Wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet, they may be at risk. So pick up one today. So definitely look into BTCC. Link is in the description. Link is also to the top right-hand corner of the screen. Also look into the Patreon. We had open mic night last night, and it was nice. Definitely, we're looking into a new project from open mic night. Not ready to release it to the public yet, but yeah, get into the Patreon if that's something you're interested in. Wow, all this news for ZBCN. Man, they dropped and hit us with a lot of news here lately. Let me go ahead and share my screen. See a lot of regulars in the house here. Loving it. Let's see what is up. Scott, the Riviera Group. What's up, Phantom Beat? What's up, King Pound 1? What's up, Pizarro? What is up, guys? See you in there. Let's see here. Which one are we going to do? Let's do this one. So, first of all, Zebec just let us know this. Major update coming soon. Zebec Networks compliance for ISO 20022 implementation across our domestic and cross-border flows. ISO and Swift, ISO deadline coming. It's today, actually. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention to Swift blockchain, another coin we talk about on the channel. It went up like 110% yesterday. So we're living large on this channel, guys. We're living really large on this channel, right? What's up, WF Capital Management? You know what it do, Zebec? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thought I'd hit you guys earlier on a Saturday. But wow. I'm going to hit you also with some news from Ghost here that he gave me, and I confirmed it is real. Man, Bloomberg Index. That's some crazy stuff here. But also, you know, we'll get to that. Also, we have Nat Pay. According to Zebec, here we go. Zebec deepens its integration across the Fed-managed banking system. Zebec and PGP are now integrated with Nat Pay, the only U.S. payroll processor in the FedNow program, and a fully ISO-compliant 20022 compliant member of NACHA. Nat Pay opens Zebec to the full automated clearinghouse and network in the U.S. and Swift network globally. So, did they already kind of hint it to us on November 20th? 11/20/2025 that they were already hooked up with US with FedNow and Swift via Nat Pay. We shall see. I mean, maybe they already even told us what that news is by giving us the Nat Pay information. And they also list Nat Pay on their website. If you go to their website and you go to the homepage, we got CodaPay, Deutsche Bank, Circle, Nat Pay down there. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Really loving what we're having from Zebec with that. Okay, now let's float into this information with Bloomberg, right? Shout out to Ghost for sending me this information, man. This blew me away. This blew me away. Let me get his post here that he shared to me. And then we'll go into the confirmation stuff that I had on the post. So here's the post that goes shared with me from Brandon Patz. Zebec HQ. I haven't seen this posted anywhere. People sharing this brand new for November. I can't explain how bullish I am for Zebec network. This is not shilling. So he copies this Bloomberg Galaxy. I did not realize Galaxy was a Bloomberg company. That's humongous. Now let's just put that in our bags and remember that. And Patreon people, you know how you can have access or be exposed to Galaxy as an investment. Shout out to the Patreon. So Bloomberg Galaxy DeFi Index, November 2025, targeted weights. The Zebec network is right down there at 1.55. Okay. Along with some projects that are even older than it, like Reserve Whites, close to Radium, Pendle, and Jito, okay, 1.5529. Pretty huge for a company like Galaxy, like Bloomberg Galaxy, to have Zebec in an index. This gives way more legitimacy to Zebec, seeing that they're in a Bloomberg sponsored company index. What else do you have to say, haters? What else do you have to say, haters? Now I went and I was like, okay, let me confirm this, right? But even before the confirmation here, let's look and see what this guy says right here. Zebec is a component of the Bloomberg Galaxy DeFi Index, DeFi, a benchmark for decentralized finance assets. As of November 25th, Zebec has approximately weight of 1.81. We saw a different thing in the article there from their own site. It was like 1.55. Is the index which tracks the performance of institutional grade DeFi protocols that meet a specific criteria for liquidity, pricing, and security. Zebec's role. Zebec Network is a decentralized infrastructure project focused on real-time payments and real-world value flows, including streaming payroll. Index inclusion criteria to be included in the DeFi index. A digital asset must be classified as decentralized finance, must be institutionally traded and custody in the U.S. and not deemed as security by the SEC, and have pricing from at least 3 vetted sources. So that's huge right there. Just this alone is huge. To be included, this means it must be classified as decentralized finance, institutionally traded, which we know they are, with Signum, with Fireblocks, and others, and custody in the U.S., not deemed a security by the SEC. That's huge right there. Hands down, that's huge. And have pricing from at least 3 vetted sources. Index characteristic. The DeFi index is modified market cap weighted in benchmark with constituents rebalanced monthly. No single constituent can exceed 40% of the index value. Zebec weight. Okay. So that's huge. That's huge. Okay. Of course, you know, I trust I got ghosts, but of course, you know, I do, you know, I went to confirm that, of course. So here from Bloomberg site, Bloomberg Galaxy site. This is it. This is it. It is there. So that is correct. And you can see here Bloomberg, a trademark service of Bloomberg Finance. Galaxy is a trademark service of Galaxy Digital Partners under license. Bloomberg Finance and its affiliates, including Bloomberg Index Limited. There's an administrator of Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index. So I did not realize that company was a Bloomberg company. That gives them way more legitimacy right there, right? And now I want to bring back another piece of information that even helps even more with this whole thing, right? Now, if we look at this information, right? Deutsche Bank's all utility stablecoin selects Zebec as its global payroll partner. Who are the all utility investors? Well, look, Galaxy's right there. So when Deutsche Bank, when Zebec told us they were a part of this, and we couldn't get any other information kind of confirming, okay, where is the other kind of piece of this that has like Zebec in it other than from Zebec? Well, Galaxy has them now in an index. So we can see here that there's definitely some type of relation here with Galaxy. That's like double confirming that. And now that we know that Galaxy is a Bloomberg partner, man, that's even better. It's a Bloomberg company. We know how high Bloomberg is in New York, and how they get down in New York, and how they're like they're like one of the leading families of New York, right? So wow. Need we say any more, right? Now I don't know if you guys caught the whole thing with Simon Babakani from my last show, because I did the whole thing with the Trump dividends, and I think a lot of people were turned off by the whole Trump dividend thing. So I'm gonna bring up some of that today, right? With what Simon Babakani said in that Stablecoin podcast, because I think a lot of people might have missed that. Okay, so let me bring that up here. We're kind of being a little bit organic with that. Let me bring up that Stablecoin podcast, because a member of that Stablecoin podcast kind of broke down exactly what Zebec is and how they're going to work, right? And I think it bodes well to kind of replay that. Let me get it going here. I want to play a certain part of it for you. It's playing the wrong interview for some reason. Hold on one second. We're kind of being a little organic here. I just want to bring this back up to you guys. Okay, while I'm figuring that out, let's go a little bit to our crowd here and get some comments. What's up, Red Dad, Blue Dad? Been a while, brother. What's up, Tony, Sandri? And by the way, guys, I can't change the way they do your tags in the YouTube. This is something that YouTube is rolling out, so I can't change it. Marpelra, holla. D. Wellwood, let's get it. What's good, Ruel? What's up, King Pound? ISO 20022 has begun. Well, let's go ahead and show you guys. Again, I was saying Swift Blockchain had a nice night yesterday. As you know, we talk about Swift Blockchain on here. Zebec also had a nice night, a nice time right now. Mentioning ISO, it popped back up from the 0.0022 mark. Nice big boner of a green candle. If we go over here and look right here. So kind of dumped out there, but right back up here. Let's look at Swift Blockchain as well. Big up candle on Swift Blockchain. So maybe shout out to Moonfeather, right? Shout out to Moonfeather. We do collaborations with Moonfeather, and she does astrology. She was talking about the whole Scorpio is over now, so maybe that means the market is up. I'm telling you guys, astrology, that's something, man. I know. Shout out to Pharmacopoeia. He also said that. Shout out to her, to Pharmacopoeia, who's a guy, and then shout out to Moonfeather. Definitely, let me share her Twitter to you guys. Duplicate. So give Moonfeather a follow over here, guys, if you haven't already. No, she was talking about, where is it? Yeah, about the Scorpio. I know there was the whole thing with Atlas too. A couple people were talking about the whole Atlas thing and what that meant. But yeah, guys, let me see if I can bring back up the Simon Babakani interview. I'm trying to play it now, but for some reason, okay, let me see here. It doesn't seem to be playing well. Simon Babakani. I used my link from before, but that doesn't seem to be working. Like they changed the link or something. Try one more time. Yep, okay. I'm gonna have to look it up some other ways. Bear with me here. We're doing it live. Do it live. Simon Babakani, stable. Podcast. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, it keeps playing the wrong thing, so I guess I can't show it to you today. But let's continue on with our show. So yeah, I think this is huge news here. You know, they're in an index. We just showed you what that index means for them as far as like what AI Grok says to be included in that. It means they're not a security. Okay. It's a Bloomberg company, this Galaxy. We've been over Galaxy a little bit before in the past. So that's the huge news today. And I'd like to get into your comments and see where we are there. I might go back to I'll just play my show so that you can hear what happened there. But then no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, let's get this. Let me just get into the comments here. Big Rue, what it do? What's up, .biz? Let's go, Zebecians. What up, though? Riviera Group. What's up, Blackout? Monarchy International Realty 113. What's going on, Ruel? Congrats on your Zebec shirt, my friend. Cheers. Yes, indeed. I gotta show you guys that. Oh man, that was a major thing. I got my Zebec jersey. I'm ecstatic about that, man. Let me see here. Let me bring that up here. I recorded a quick thank you. I have it in here somewhere. Oh, okay, wait. Can we go to the Stablecoin podcast from here? Okay, again, we're doing it live here. Nope, it still is playing the wrong thing. I don't understand why. How do if anybody knows how I can have it play the right thing, I would appreciate it. Keeps coming up with the podcast before this or something. Okay, now I got it.
Welcome back to the Stablecoin podcast, hosted by.
Okay, so part I wanted to show you guys here. I had to click out and click on something else.
Myself, Luther Madej, CEO of Stablecoin Partners and the Knight of Stablecoins here.
Western Union and MoneyGram are trying to do right now by launching this stablecoin system. But we've built it ourselves already at Zebec. And we're now in talks with Stellar to bring this onto the Stellar blockchain so it can fit into their remittance network that's already been built and deployed.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it from two senses. And also, it wasn't just because Luther was talking about cruises. It was amusing. That's what I was thinking. I thought I was just going to talk about your holiday from the summer. But that's really good because effectively MasterCard and the card companies are actually being super smart here in that they are utilizing their network without having to, or their trusted network, the trust that's there, and the link to the merchants for people to buy things, and dislocating or disintermediating the banks in between. So Zebec effectively, as you say, is a neobank for the unbanked, for people who don't have a bank. So you're able to spend money, earn money, send money, and looking at your website, you can stake, and there are some investment products there as well. You don't need a bank, actually,
absolutely,
to operate in the real world. So we always talk about we're in the crypto world and we're all very wallet centric and everyone knows how to use it, but for the mass adoption, they are not ready for this.
That part that you said, MasterCard and all these guys are kind of I think he said disseminating, like they're putting like a step between themselves and cryptocurrency, it seems. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones behind it, but there's a couple steps in between them, right? But then with Zebec, you can, you don't need a bank. They're a neobank. You could do, you could send money, you can send remittances, you can even do investment on it with the DeFi and the staking. You don't need a bank. Everything he said right there is Zebec's like mission statement. I'm gonna go back and play it one more time because it was perfect.
Already at Zebec. And we're now in talks with Stellar to bring this onto the Stellar blockchain so it can fit into their remittance network that's already been built and deployed.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it from two senses, and also it wasn't just because Luther was talking about cruises. It was amusing. That's what I was thinking. I thought I was just going to talk about your holiday from the summer, but that's really good because effectively, MasterCard and the card companies are actually being super smart here in that they are utilizing their network without having to, or their trusted network, the trust that's there, and the link to the merchants for people to buy things, and dislocating or disintermediating the banks in between. So Zebec effectively, as you say, is a neobank for the unbanked, for people who don't have a bank. So you're able to spend money, earn money, send money. And looking at your website, you can stake, and there are some investment products there as well. You don't need a bank, actually,
Absolutely.
to operate in the real world. So, we always talk about we're in the crypto world and we're all very wallet centric and everyone knows how to use it. But for the mass adoption, they are not ready for this. You need to have the trusted icon. It needs to work in Apple Pay. It needs to work on a MasterCard or a Visa or something like this, something that they're familiar with. And behind the scenes, they almost don't care that it's a stablecoin. It just means you're getting paid your real money quicker, faster, cheaper, and you can still spend it. So, and you're delivering cost savings to the corporates who are implementing it in their payroll, and you're giving added value and as you said, an HR benefit for those who work for them, the employees. So, yeah, I love where this is going. My question is sort of, do you think, given that you're effectively disintermediating banks, what's the bank's response?
Okay, so I played this before, but I just wanted you guys to hear that part. That's a really, really, really good part. And also here in this, Simon Babakani mentions about Zebec integrating with Zell Pay also in this interview. So definitely go check this out. The Stablecoin podcast, Simon Babakani, these guys, they did this for at least like 30 minutes. It's a really, really good interview, a great interview. And, again, they tell us stuff like Zebec being integrated with Zell. Zebec, the super app is going to have Zell be integrated with it. But I think this is the ultimate end game, the neobank. Super app, neobank. The moment people get paid, they're on the super app and they can invest, they can spend money, save money, everything that I think. Now I forgot his name. This gentleman here, everything that he said is exactly the game plan. He walked through it in a minute, very eloquently. So yeah, let's continue. Let's start at the top here. Oh, root for president. I appreciate that. But then, yeah, so where was I? I was trying to find the post where I share with you guys my jersey. And, mad thanks to Zebec for sending me the jersey. Mad thanks for the Ghost for putting out a word for me. It's just amazing, man. As a Detroit guy, I'm telling you, man, that was, it meant the world to me. So here, I'll show it to you guys. My post that I posted for this. Again, thank you, Zebec, for this. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Wow, as a Detroit-born guy, I appreciate this. Thank you, ZBCN. Thank you, Simon Babakani. Thank you, JJ Ortiz. Thank you, Ghost, for putting out a word for the brother. I appreciate you guys for appreciating the channel. We appreciate ZBCN. And hey, let's go ZBCN. I'm out. Peace. Yeah. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Really, really nice thing there. Let's continue. AI predicts $2 by 2030. I could definitely see that. What's up, Rich Dreams Beats? What's up, Phantom Beat? Excuse me, guys. So what happens if Swift chooses Zebec as their blockchain for cross-border payments? Well, Zebec's a protocol, so they're just the rails for the cross-border payments. I'm pretty sure that Swift is using XRP. People like Jesse from Apex Crypto Insights and all of this have shown us this. But on top of what Jesse has shown us, what we've added is that Zebec has like rails into all these different blockchains. So the stable coins will go onto their rails to all of these different blockchains. So imagine now XRP, our RLUSD needs to go from, the whole XRP ledger to Quant to Ethereum to, Solana. They're traveling on Zebec rails, right? And the most important thing to understand there is the retail rail. When we get paid, now we're spending money and we're connecting to all these different blockchains. So really, this is Zebec's purpose. They're not trying to supplant, everything that XRP Ripple is doing with central banks. The only thing they're trying to do is be a rail. But understand that all of these different stable coins, more or less, let's say that they have to be validated and verified by the central bank. So again, it makes sense that Swift wants to talk to Zebec because they have to validate every stable coin that Zebec uses, right? So all in all, it's going to be an ecosystem, a multi-chain ecosystem. And Zebec's main purpose is the genesis of money with retail. So the moment retail gets paid, they now go through the super app, and from the super app, they branch out to all these different blockchains, all these different things. Like the gentleman said, you could spend your money, you can send remittances, you can stake and do DeFi, do your taxes, get a loan, get a payday loan, everything from the super app, right? Oh, what's up, WF Capital Management? King Pound be so sooner. Hey, if it's sooner, I'm okay. If it's still 2028, I'm okay. Like I challenge people to change their mindset to 2028, 2030. Like, not that you have to wait that long. I know we got some guys in here in their 60s or older, but honestly, it's not that long when you really truly think about it. I remember just 3 years ago, standing in 2022, right after my stroke, like, oh man, like I could tell you guys stories about that, but I'm like, okay, I see where this market is going. I just wish we was already in 2025. And here we are in 2025, and people are wishing like, hey, 2028 seems so long. It seems like a long time from right now in this present moment, but I'm telling you, in 2 seconds, we'll be in 2028. In 2 seconds, we will literally be in 2028. Literally, figuratively. Do you see the bet going to 5 cents by the end of December now that it is ISO compliant? What's up, TK? Well, it all depends on the Clarity Act, or now they've changed the name of it to Crypto Market Infrastructure Bill. It depends on where that goes. Okay, so I want to see where the Clarity Act, what happens after the Clarity Act. And again, ISO is just live today. We already seen what it's done to Swift's price, what it's done to Zebec's price. Let's give it some time to marinate, as they say. Let's give it some time to, like, fully breathe and see how that goes, right? But again, when we look at what's being put in place as far as being Deutsche Bank's global payroll partner, as far as being in a Bloomberg index, right? Everything is getting put into place for this to be very nice long term. Okay? You just have to have the stomach and the patience to have it happen. Very interesting. They removed AMP here. I see. Interesting. That's another coin I used to cover. But yeah, you can see ZBCN is there. So you know what it do. Zebec. Love it. WF Capital Management. Do you see? Yeah, we got that one. Let's go ZBCN. What's up, Ali? What's up, Randall Ali? Rue. What's up, Brian? The Nichols. Let's go ZBCN. What's up, Braveheart McFreedom? Let's go Rue, and let's get this ZBCN. Yeah. Yes, think $2 by 2028. 2028, I think everything explodes. Yeah, 2028, 2030. You look at some of these tokens and like their token in release schedule ends in 2027, 2028. You know what I mean? Like, and you can see already they're getting all the ETFs, they're getting all the indexes, they're getting all the laws put into place. ISO's live now. Okay, now imagine 2028, we're in 2028. People are using a super app. They're doing the whole buyback, all of that. Gotta imagine Zebec's very, very high in price, right? Because now the laws are in place for people to actually use the super app and get paid instantly. They're going to need this for the economy, especially the way the dollar continues to head. And that's the reason why I mentioned the whole thing about Trump and the dividend payments. You know, like it or not, you know, I'm an engineer. I'm not going to get one. Okay, I'm not going to get a dividend payment. But like it or not, this is the path we're heading on. Like, I don't control it. You don't control it. There's nothing we can do. This is the path that they're heading on. They seem to be devaluing the dollar. But in the same time that they're doing that, they're increasing the value of digital assets. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Zebec, Litecoin, you know, XRP. Okay, this is where things are headed. If he prints more money, regardless of how he says, okay, well, it's coming from the money we're getting from the tariffs and all this other stuff, things will inflate. But again, as a crypto investor, this is kind of good for our crypto bags. And this is just where it seems that things are headed. I didn't put them that way. I didn't make them that way. But this is what they are, right? And as investors, as people, we should just see things as they are and not try to say, like, change them. and not like that. We should see things as they are and act accordingly. Like, there's only so much change we can make, right? Unfortunately, that's how it is. Zebec and Swift are pumping. Yes, indeed. AZ Marine. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Max FOMO. this company has to be using Metallica's white label products. If they aren't, I'll eat my girlfriend's weave. What? Well, again, I do think there's some interplay between them and Metallica's, right? And I mentioned that from that stablecoin interview. One of the things Simon Babakani says is, well, and we can play some more of this interview. We'll play a little bit more of the interview because I think a lot of you might have missed it from my last show. One of the things that he says, Simon Babakani says to, I think Rami is his name, Rami, is it behooves us for more banks to come online. Because now that's more places that we can have our stablecoin rails to go through. And who's responsible for getting certain banks online? Metallicus. Metallicus is responsible for getting credit unions online. Case in point, let's go ahead and go to Metallicus and their site. And you can see where St. Cloud in Minnesota, St. Cloud Financial Credit Union became the first U.S. credit union to launch its own stablecoin. So the more institutions that do this, the better it is for Zebec. Okay? So let's have Simon tell you that in his own words.
MoneyGram's response and the Western Union, they're all trying to quickly get into this market. How do you think that you'll stay ahead? What's your defensive barrier? What are you going to do? Because they have big deep pockets. They can acquire places. They can do things. They have a good distribution network. How do you think they're going to try and protect their moat?
Well, banks entering the space is actually a net positive for companies like Zebec for a variety of reasons. Number one, the more banks that now issue and transact with stablecoins means that we can tap an even larger number of corporates in the US.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first benefit. If you're using the community bank on Main Street and they're not offering stablecoin, well, it's a little bit more tricky for you to be doing stablecoin payroll with Zebec. So we're going to see more and more banks opt in, which opens us up to a much bigger share of the $11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. And then when you see bank-led consortiums like Zell entering the stablecoin space, that is another net positive for Zebec, because now we'll be able to connect Zell Pay to the Zebec super app, meaning that through a simple Zell push, you'll be able to load stablecoins directly into your Zebec app. That is the easiest, cleanest off-ramp that you could ever build. On-ramp.
100%. And it's funny because when I saw the Zell headline today, I thought of we had Kevin Lepnity from Borderless last week, a couple of weeks ago, Simon, and he said exactly. He was like, banks love consortiums, and I was like, oh, it makes sense why Zell would launch a stablecoin, because it is a consortium of banks from that perspective, and it's a great delivery mechanism from that side, right? Like people are already using Zell, and
so Zell launched a consortium. Okay, now I think that's another piece of information that connects. Okay. That's another piece of information. Okay. Zell launched a consortium. Okay. Zell is going to be integrated into the super app. Simon just told you that. Let me bring up a piece of information for you guys. Because I asked Grok, does Zell have its own stablecoin? Okay, now I don't see what I asked it. Let me see. Okay, I think this is it. No, that's not it. Okay, I asked Grok, does Zell have its own stablecoin? And it says no, but it has a stablecoin through its subsidiary. Hold on. Let me just do it again. Does Zell have its own stablecoin? Because He's right. The guy who just spoke, he's right. But now we got to make the connections. And I will put this in, and I'll show it to you. Hopefully it gives me the same answer. Okay, it's not giving it to me here. Let me see. Did I do this on ChatGPT instead? Let me see. Let me load up ChatGPT right quick. So I asked it, does Zell have its own stablecoin? And it says, no, Zell doesn't have its own stablecoin, but it does have a stablecoin through a company called DWS. Okay. Let me make sure. Where is it? I just got to figure out which thing I was on that I asked it that question. And DWS, I'll just show you here, is the other partner here. So that's Zell. Okay. So again, that's why Zebec can say their partner here, because two of their partners, Galaxy and which is Bloomberg, and DWS, which is Zell, are here with them. Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can find that information, and we'll listen to the rest of the interview while I'm doing that.
And the fact that they can go international with very little lift by implementing digital assets makes such a huge difference for especially somebody like that who already has the reach into the user base, right? No, that totally makes sense. One thing though, Rami's question is, I love Rami's question. I would challenge Rami to say that not every bank wants to get into payroll though. Today there are payroll companies and there are banks. And you don't see a Bank of America saying, I will handle your payroll. Instead, they're like, hey, do a direct deposit with us, and then, I will give you some kind of rewards, right? So I think that the payroll, the fact that you're entering it from the payroll aspect of it is always going to be a differentiating factor compared to a MoneyGram or a Western Union or any other bank, only because these, what's happening, if you look at what's happening today, most of these remittance players are trying to become neobanks, right? And because they're launching their card products, etc., right? But they always want to be on the receiving side of it, less so on the pushing side of it, on the payroll side, right? They may do some partnership with some large payroll providers, but to be a payroll provider yourself, I think you're almost the source and origination of the transaction, Simon. So I feel like you've got this edge that other potential financial service providers like banks and MTLs, etc., probably don't.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons we went for payroll at the beginning, right? Because you're pretty much the top of the food chain when it comes to financial services. Yeah, no, 100%. I've never challenged Rami openly on this podcast before, so.
No. My and you should do. No, I don't have all the answers. So my concern was, I guess. And Simon made the good point. You're top of the food chain, and there's 11 trillion payroll happening globally.
In the US only.
In the US, sorry, in the US, so even bigger market. So all that money at the moment is staying in a bank and then going to a payroll company. So what I'm wondering about is what happens to the deposit flight, because that 11 trillion of movement in the US, for example, is going to go now potentially into stable coins or outside of a bank's remit, and therefore they lose, that deposit flight affects their capital, affects the ability to lend, drain, all these kind of things. And, I guess, not sure what your thoughts are, Simon, on Genius, but the way it was drafted, especially around the yield aspect of it, was one that was a protectionist version to make sure that stablecoins weren't able to sort of accelerate that deposit flight. So I was just thinking about it from that perspective, what happens if in a blue sky, Zebec is doing extremely well, and loads of companies are now using that system and they're doing it by engaging with stablecoins, the money that was generally in that system, utilizing for payrolls, now not in the bank's domain anymore, not in the bank's control. What do they do then? That was sort of where I was heading. Not that it's a problem we need to solve. They've got a big enough moat and they've got a regulatory capture already. It's fine, but I'm just interested to see how you think it plays out.
Well, what you're going to see coming out of the Genius Act is that a lot of the banks are now going to be issuing their own stable coins, right? Like you've seen with JP Morgan as well as Bank of America, which will then attract deposits, right? So it'll just be a new product that they launch, which will then have have deposits in the bank in a different form, right? In the form of stable coins rather than in the form of traditional deposits. And yes, banks will not be able to pay direct yield on that stable coin, but of course there's going to be many ways around it. There's companies out there like Ondo that we actually work with at Zebec. We integrated USDY a year and a half ago. That is an amazing way for any of our corporate clients or retail clients on the card side to earn a yield on idle funds. And we're actually going to be expanding that partnership in the coming months.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a great answer. And yeah, you're right. There's so many of these sort of tech.
So cool. One of the things they mentioned there was, and I can't find what I wanted to show you guys. So one of the things they just mentioned there was that being payroll first, right? Because the guy at the top left, he mentioned, okay, you guys are doing it in an interesting way, and that usually banks and payroll are separate, but you guys are targeting payroll. So really, you're going to be at the genesis of pay. And that is exactly a huge point to me, right? They're going to be at the genesis of retail payments, at the genesis of retail money. Because retail's pretty much not getting money unless they're working, right? So they're at the moment you create your money. That's huge, because now they have a huge influence on where your money goes, because they're at the moment you make it. And at the moment you make it, they pay it to you. All right? So that's very, 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 very huge. And that's a really underplayed point about Zebec. They're paying you your money instantly, and they're right there when you get it. They give it to you in their super app. So they're going to have a huge influence on where your money goes, okay, as a retail, okay, if you use their system. And why would you not use their system? Because now you're incentivized to use it. You're not waiting 2 weeks for your payment. You're getting it as soon as you work, okay? So why wouldn't you use their system? Oh, yeah, and it's cheaper for you. Since it's stablecoin, you're not charged these fees for ACH, these fees to remove your money here, there, or the other place. It's only cents for you. So it's a win for you as a customer. It's also a win for as Rami mentioned down there, it's a win for corporates because they have less fees too. They could just send you your payment directly. It's less fees for them. It seems as though it's a win for everyone in the situation. What's going on, Mr. Foresight in the house? Appreciate you, brother. Definitely check out Mr. Foresight's channel, guys, if you haven't already. Also, I see our guy Shook Focus in the house too. All right, let's go. Got a couple creators in the house. But let me pick back up at our comments here. Okay. What's up, Pinot Q? What's happening? ISO's happening, man. Yes, MetalPay has been on BS where the price dropped twice this week. They had issues when trying to buy super low. Oh, man. Zebec, what's up? Had to beat Zebec, check. Swiftcoin, check. Next, Telcoin, then SHX. ISO with love. What's up, Jose De La Torre? Appreciate you, brother. Is ZBCN ISO compliant? Well, with the announcement they gave us from Nat Pay, you can almost assume that they're not ISO compliant. Let's bring that announcement back up. Up here with Let me bring it back up here. Starting to get cold here in Arizona. My body is not, it does not handle temperature change well. Here we go. So yeah, Zebec and PHP is now integrated with Nat Pay, the only U.S. payroll processor in the FedNow program, and fully ISO 20022 compliant member of NACHA. So by that, you can almost imply that they are already ISO compliant. Just kind of how they gave us the all Unity news, and then a couple days later on their website, they said they were MiCA compliant. And then like a couple weeks after that, Simon finally said, yeah, we're MiCA compliant in the spaces. But also they gave us this major update coming soon on Zebec's network's compliance for ISO 20022 implementation across our domestic and cross-border flows. But needless to say, if they're doing this with Nat Pay, you can imply that they've already done it. Of course, you could also imply that they've already done it with what they were doing with WageLink. But, you know, if you want an official announcement, it's probably coming soon. $2028, the world goes digital. King Pound 1. Thank you, Remy Chagan, for reposting the stream. Sorry if I butchered your Chagnon. Remy Chagnon, if I butchered your last name. Dreaming Online, yes. What's up, Yazid? Yair Bay, we got a Bay in the house. Let's go. Let's go, Blackrue L. Let's go. Sun is Hot Raw in the house, in the building. Focus Pocus 77. Nothing but fire. Let's go. Zebec is gangster. Big up Blackrue. What's up, Tommy Maximus? Dave F. Jr. What's good, brother man? Let's freaking go, baby. Yeah. Let's go. Bullish. What's up, Monarchy International Realty. L, what have I missed? What's up, LS? Nothing much. Is it back to $10? Focus Pocus 777. That one guy, don't be coy, tell your boy. I love it. What's up, E? Our moderator in Telegram. Appreciate you, E. Mr. Baby Ears. We in here. ZBCN crew hold firm. Don't get shook out. Let's go. That's right. Hold your nuts. King Pound 1. Let's see here. Glad I backed up the truck. Marcus G589. Abe Adamove, what's up? 333. Yo, been a while, brother. God is grand. Get your bag of PLI. That's a sleeper out here. That's one I've mentioned to the Patreons before. Definitely do your research on PLI. It's a fork of Chainlink for XDC. So that's a little extra alpha for you guys. Rue on fire. Let's go. Focus Pocus. What's up, Shook Focus Digital? We got Shook Focus Digital and Mr. Foresight reposting the stream here. Let's bring out their channel. We got another patron in the house. What's up, Benjamin Awakened? What up, Rue? Patreon is strong in here. Let's go ahead and show Mr. Foresight stuff. Thank you, brother, for sharing the stream. I really appreciate it. Definitely give Mr. Foresight a follow, guys, if you guys haven't already. Covers Zebec and some other things. He also covers Metallicas. So definitely give brother a follow if you haven't already. I don't know why it's not going to this. Okay, there we go. So definitely give him a follow if you haven't already. And let's go over to Shook's. Twitter. I don't know why it's not pulling up. There we go. What? Okay. Definitely give Shook Focus a follow, guys, if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and hit Shook's YouTube too. So if you guys come over to my YouTube, you can definitely see the Zebec playlist, the XPR playlist, the Swift playlist. If you mosey on down here, you see Shook Focus Digital right here, Underdog Research Channel, Maximus Crypto, the Mooneyverse. We shared some stuff from Mooney and her Telegram just a second ago. Gentleman of Crypto, shout out to King Bless over here, Gentleman of Crypto. King does a morning show, cracks me up. NYC Odd App, Simon Family Investments, Benzinga, 101 Media, our guy, Crypto Future, the Ronin Experience, and the Crypto Crossroads Show out here. Okay, love them, love all these brothers and the sister Moonfeather. Wonderful content creators. Thank you, Crypto. Thank you, Creative Control, for the repost. Another good follow here. Let's bring bro's stuff up as well. You know, one of the best ways to kind of get good research is to follow great people, right? Creative Control, one of the best ZBCN posters out there, guys. Definitely give him a follow. Criminal, he should be way over 1,000. Give him a follow if you guys want some good Zebec information. And thank you, brother, for sharing my information. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let's get bro over 1,000 for sure. See here. Root for president. Appreciate it. Focus. Buy the dip, hold the rip, sell the trip. Let's go. King Pound with the bars out here. Curio Comics, are there any videos with Zebec CEO talking with any major players in crypto in the U.S. government? Not at the moment, but they did share something with the Federal Reserve. And when the Federal Reserve was talking about streaming payments, they were talking about this skinny master account type of stuff. Zebec shared that. You know, what did they know? Did they hear something? Were they invited to that meeting? Do they, you know, Zebec did, they shared that. So, but are there any direct things with the Zebec CEO, like glad handing Donald Trump or anything like that? No. Not that I know of, I should say. EU Stray DC. Did Zebec confirm ISO? Well, they implied ISO. I honestly think they had it for a while now. But, you know, they haven't confirmed it yet. Officially confirmed yet. What's up, OGB? Thanks for reposting the stream. But let me show you the post in which they've implied to us that they may have ISO already. Like we gotta read between the lines, guys. You know, they say here they deepen its integrations across the Fed managed banking system. Okay. So that already implies Swift. That already implies ISO just with that one sentence. Zebec deepens its integration across the Fed managed banking system. Zebec and PGP are now integrated with Nat Pay, the only U.S. payroll processor of the FedNow program and fully ISO compliant member of NACHA. I don't know that they could really work with them if they aren't compliant, right? You know, you guys know I'm a coder. You know, some of the things we do, if you're not compliant yourself, you can't really truly kind of do stuff with compliant people, right? Kind of how it works. A little bit. That's kind of how it works. Generally. So again, to me, saying that they're working with Nat Pay, that's a fully ISO compliant member of NACHA, kind of implies to me that they might be ISO compliant themselves. But again, they're telling us a major update is coming soon. This was 5 hours ago that they dropped this, and I wanted to drop it to you guys so you know, hey, big news is coming. And we also gave you the information. Shout out to Ghost that they're in a Bloomberg index for Galaxy. You can see here, targeted weights November 2025. Zebec is right there at a 1.5529 percentage point there. Got to love that. Zebec is not ISO. Well, I kind of beg to differ there, Rob G. What's up, Bob the Builder? Another patron in the house. The Patreon is strong in here today. My man. Let's go. UWA, dude. I've been buying Zebec like my life depends fully on it. There you go. What's up, Stephanie? What's up? What's up, Stephanie Crypto? Appreciate you for being in the house. What's up, ZBCN, man? Can't wait to be on you guys' show. Let's give them some shine here as well. ZBCN, man, our guy Moon God, and I think one other person. They're starting the Zero Gravity Network, okay? I'm going to be a guest. I can't wait to see once we flesh that out. I can't wait to be a guest on these guys' show. I'm glad to see them creating a YouTube channel. Moon God, ZBCN, man. I think at Milo XRP. Okay. You guys provide a lot of information to the channel. Creating a YouTube together. That's a brilliant move, guys. And I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how this comes out. And I can't wait to be a guest on you guys' channel for sure. Let me see. 0. There we go. So get ready from Milo XRP. Get ready from ZBCN, man. Get ready from Seancito or Moon God. Zero Gravity Network. Definitely go over, give these guys a follow. Okay. And get ready to get. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Here we go. So yeah, Zero Gravity Network. This is our guy ZBCN, man. This is our guy Seancito or Moon God. This is our guy Milo XRP. They're starting their own channel here, and these guys are also 3 good follows on Twitter for ZBCN information. I can't wait to be a guest on their show, so give them a follow. They're going to be coming up out here in this world, in these YouTube streets, offering more content to everyone, providing. I mean, they're already providing a lot of content on YouTube as it is, but now they're putting it in a YouTube format, and I can't wait to see what they do, guys. Salamander, what's up? Is ZBCN? Yeah, we covered that. Something even bigger about the drop. Stay tuned, man. ZBCN, man, might have some inside info. Let's go. I don't think so, Curio Comics. I know people have mentioned different things about this, and I'm not ducking any of it. I'm really not ducking any of it. But hey, you don't get into an index like this if you're not legit. I really don't think you get into a Bloomberg index unless you're legit. And this is from Bloomberg site. I I went and I hunted it down, and this is it. It's in there. So for everything where you can see, okay, well, the NHL thing didn't go so hot, and this and that and the other thing, there's stuff like this, right? And I can name you other coins where they've fudded this, and they fudded coins for good reason, but they're actually legit, like Solana. How many times did Solana get fudded because of FTX, because of Sam Bankman-Fried, because of its frequent shutdowns, all of this stuff? But look at Solana's price, right? I could show you so much Solana FUD. I could show you a lot of FUD on Ethereum. There should have been Ethereum killers, and it's too slow, it's too this, it's too that. And look at Ethereum, right? Bitcoin, the whole thing about, it's for what is it? Money launderers and all of this. XCN, the people never show their face, and Justin Sun came out and did what he did, and it turned out to be not right. So but anyways, ZBCN is ISO compliant via Nat Pay. Good strategy. Rue, do you think there'll be an ETF for Quant? Yeah, Quant will definitely be in an ETF. It'll definitely be in an ETF. You look at all the stuff that Gilbert Verdian is involved in, especially since he's involved in his own ISO 307 format. That's all about blockchain. He literally wrote an ISO format. Quant's going to be in an ETF for sure, hands down. My belief is that Zebec is already ISO. Yep, I think it's ISO already. I really do. Scam coins at Trump and Melania. Yeah, well, the president could do that, right? Who bought the dip? Gemini wouldn't let me. Don't ever use Gemini, fellas. It's not a scam. I did some deep digs in February. Links to XRP, etc., are insane. Let's start that comment. There are sites that are not in public view. Trust me, they're not a scam. Let's go. Hey, feel free if you want to share that information. My DMs are open. I could definitely share that to the group if you want to. But hey, I don't know how much you want to. If people want to go out here and think it's a scam, let them do it. Just more coins for us, okay? But hey, if you want to share the information, my DMs are open. Peter Morton, Zebec is a real one. Are you guys serious? They're tied with a European bank. This for digital stablecoins. What's up, Joey? Ruel the Black Prince of Crypto, is our fearless leader. Let's go. Best researcher in crypto. Okay. The only scam part is the redirection from DeFi back into CBDC. The whole ZBCN is fine. Once you use the rails, it reverts back into KYC, so CBDC. So to hold it in DeFi is to use the rails is CBDC. Got you. Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying there. So he's basically almost saying, okay, stablecoins are pretty much CBDCs. They just changed the name. So I understand what you're saying there. Gotta be a legend. Salute, Rue. Rue, you're in Fog Swap. I haven't heard of that one. So to avoid the scam part, you hold the DeFi part and never use the KYC railway. Sell it for BTC or move into stablecoin. A privacy coin, depending on how much you own, is best. Gotcha. Terry Williamson, love is taking over the universe. What do you know about Zebec, XLM, Toshi, Pepe, and the World Liberty Financial Crypto? It's going to moon. It's not a game out here. Saw a YouTuber say that Zebec address is sketchy, and so is his founder and CEO. Well, you gotta look at, again, like I was saying with Solana, like I was saying with XCN, like I was saying, like all the people try to bring up with Justin Sun and Tron, they try to make him seem like he's sketchy too. It's just so much misdirection out here. You know, I mean, you have to make your own decision there. The Pistons are on one right now too. Yeah, they are. What's up, Mugen? Nice to see business of learn from Blockbuster's ding dong mistake. I'm so hyped. What's up, Mo with the lazy eye? Zebec has an office right next door to XRP in San Francisco. There's an HQ in NYC, but they definitely don't have an office over there right next door. Dope Pistons gear, RB. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Scott. Riviera Group. Yeah, man. Like that jersey, I'm going to frame it. We're going to put it in the studio for sure. When I get like a little official studio, that will be framed in the studio for sure. What's up, Tech Boy 85? Peace to chat and peace to you, Rue. Appreciate it. That's a nice Detroit Zebec uphold jersey. I saw Detroit Mercy versus Michigan State college ball. Nice. Yeah, they played yesterday. Sweet Jose De La Torre, Fab, go Fab Five, love those black socks back then. Me too. The Fab Five started a whole revolution. Like, it's crazy they didn't win the NCAA championship that year. Chris Webber with the whole gap thing, right? But Jalen Rose, like all these kids are named Jalen now because of him. Like, Jalen Rose is the man. So's Chris Webber, but I'm really a big fan of Jalen Rose. Started his own school in Detroit, and you know it's up. Like, the school is running. Like that makes you question things like from certain people that said they would start schools, if you know who I mean, right? Certain people said they start schools, still not up. But Jalen's, it's been running for years now. So shout out to Jalen Rose, right, for being a person that's like, you know, that says that they're going to make a difference, and they did. He's doing it. He has his own school in Detroit, right? And it's a good school, from what I hear. XCN, Swift, and ZBCN all seem to run at the same time. Yes, indeed, they do. I've been picture thinking a lot lately. So many of these chains and networks fit together. Most use cases don't actually fight. They don't. That's what I'm saying. Like big picture thinking. Metallica's use case fits with Zebec's use case, fits with Stronghold's use case, fits with XRP. It is going to be a multi-chain future, guys. Everything has its place, down to the quants, down to the XCNs, the XRPs, the Zebecs, the Metallicas, all of it. Every chain has their place, guys. So, I mean, this is what we're heading into, this brave new world where it's like, think about it. Apple has its place. Lenovo has its place. IBM has its place. You know, the world of tech is not just one company. I'm on a Dell right now, right? You know, all these different things, Intel, NVIDIA, they all have their place, right? Here, let me get some water right quick. My voice is giving out on me. I'll be right back. Okay, that's much better. All right. Okay. Whew, that's better. Okay. 14 months until it's 2027. That's true. That's crazy. I didn't think about it that way, but you're right. We're literally 14 months from 2027. See, when you put it in that type of perspective, right? It's crazy to think about, right? You're literally 14 months away from 2 years from now. That's crazy when you think about it like that. 14 months until it's 2027. People will either be in regret or toasting. We'll definitely be toasting. The difference with this than a lot of other things like green energy, for instance. The laws are changing for this and the banks need this, right? We were sold a bill of goods with green energy because who's going to supplant oil when oil gives you so many benefits? There's so many tax breaks in oil. And I know people like to roll their eyes when you talk about certain families, but of course that's programming, right? They've been programmed to roll their eyes for that and ignore the truth of it. But anyway, we know that oil is the way that the dollar works and all of this stuff. So again, green energy was doomed to be only kind of like a niche thing that wasn't going to really work. But crypto is different because banks need it. Banks need for it to happen, right? The gig economy needs for it to happen. So it has to happen. It's not even a question. So we're going to be toasting. The only thing is, do you have the stomach to shout out to Coach Greg Adams? Shout out to Sugar Free, the rapper Sugar Free. Do you have the stomach to hold? Okay, that's all that is. What's up, Art Caffeine? Blessings, Rue. Happy Saturday, bro. Appreciate you. We about to be crazy rich, 100%. Let's freaking go. We are flying. How many share do people have? What's up, Guns Dogs Direct? Stroke. Well, you better be hitting the gym, buddy. Taking care of yourself to see the profit. Yeah, I had a stroke. What is it now? Almost 3 years ago. It was pretty bad, man. I could not. Like they said, I wouldn't be able to make a right fist again. I had speech issues. I couldn't move my shoulder right. I did some certain therapies and things that really, really helped me. And I thank to God. It's a miracle. It's literally a miracle what happened to me. When you look at like how jacked up I was, it's an honest to God miracle. People wouldn't like. I could show you the medical records, so it's not like a thing like that. But people honestly wouldn't believe if I told them the real story. And I could show them the medical records, and they would still probably wouldn't even believe me. But I thank God. I thank God because honestly, it could have went differently. It could have went me not being alive, right? With things like a stroke. But it was honestly to the point where I couldn't button my pants. That's how bad it was. But thank God I'm here. And every day plus that since that day is a plus day for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm hitting the gym, taking care of myself. Like yesterday in the Patreon, in the open mic night, we were talking about health. And people were sharing different things they take and stuff like that. So we're really building a community in that Patreon, guys. Might be something for you to look at. But yeah, we were talking about health information and different things that people take to keep themselves healthy. But yeah, I'm in the gym, man. I appreciate that. Peter Morton. Please, ZBCN today. Did you see that what Sam tweeted? I did not see what Sam tweeted. I saw something there with creative control where he had something from Sam. Let's go over to his site again. I don't know why I'm trying to lose my voice right now. Okay, there we go. Okay. Creative control, our guy. He got it. See, that's what I'm telling you. He's a good follow, man. You should go follow him. Years of dedication. Years of dedication. Let's go. 100%. 100%. Let's go. Let's go, Sam Tapalia. Is 1 million shares enough? Again, you have to decide that for yourself. What target are you trying to hit? Yes, bro. I'm thinking about getting another 5 million. So what target are you hit? I made a show a long time ago, right? Where I said 20 million Zebec will make you a millionaire. Now, I did that based on, okay, it hits 5 cents. Okay? So you have 20 million, it hits 5 cents, you have $1 million. But again, that's a short-sighted goal in that what is Zebec going to be long term? The rails for these stable coins. Okay? So imagine that you had 25 million, let's say, right? It hit 5 cents, you take some profits, you hold on to 5 million forever. That could be a goal, right? Because look at what XRP is going to do for people. And it has the same tokenomics as XRP, which is why I say they should not change the tokenomics. They should leave them the way that they are right now. People that have XRP are going to earn interest on them forever. Okay? Shout out to Jake Claver, who did a show on why you wouldn't want to sell your XRP, why you would just want to draw interest on it for the rest of your life and have it be this passive income generator. This is what Zebec could be, okay? Let me see if I can pull up that show from Jake Claver, which is also might be a good watch for people. This is what Zebec can be in a few years, okay? Shout out to Jake Claver, okay? Let's see if I can find a show. Okay, here it is. How to live off your XRP without ever selling it, okay? And he talks about some stuff about, like, there's some companies out here right now offering crypto loans on things like Bitcoin and XRP, and Jake Claver has a company in which he offers, you know, certain interest for XRP. We could get there with Zebec, right? So again, this is long term with Zebec. And you can already see, right? Companies like Bloomberg are already putting it in their indexes. Now imagine it going into more crypto indexes, more ETFs, more ETPs, company treasuries. Okay? This is where we can head with Zebec once all the laws and regulations are in place. Okay? So, honestly, getting another 5 million not financial advice doesn't seem like a bad idea to me. Doesn't seem like a bad idea to me at all. Yeah, bro, 5-year stake will give you 2.2 million. Okay? Mamba Land, I'm thinking to reach 5 million. Looks like DeFi moving today, loving it. What's up, Daryl Fernandez? Appreciate you. Well, I have a million. I'm gonna wait and see if it moves. What's up on Yatsky? 2028, 2030. At most, the price will have to be $1 to $2 is a stretch. Well, we shall see how much of adoption happens, right? How much is just like I just said there, guy. Like you kind of leading me back to it. What happens when we're in these ETFs, these ETPs, company treasuries? What happens when all these Zebec cards are being used because the laws finally allow for it, right? Zebec is testing it, right? In certain areas, they're testing it. But now when they have clarity on laws, now it can actually be used. And everybody, now the standard is to get paid in real time instead of getting paid bi-weekly. Just think, I think in Europe, the standard is to get paid like monthly. We get paid bi-weekly. In a gig economy, the standard might be to get paid instantly. Imagine 3 or 4 years from now, when we start getting on the standard of people are using Zebec and they're getting paid instantly. Now, that's going to separate you as a company from anyone who's getting paid every 2 weeks. Okay? So that's just going to up the demand for Zebec. Quant, Sui, H-Bar, Flare. Yep, I like those too. Maybe a buck. Again, they have the same tokenomics as XRP. Why couldn't they get to $1? Especially with the whole buyback type of thing going on. I see no reason why they couldn't. $0.50 to 80 cents, motherfuckers was dumb. No way the bottom will sit at 42 cents and maybe $2 bottom in 2032. Well, again, I think you guys are kind of going off of XRP's price, and you got to think that XRP was held down by regulation. Zebec is not going to be in that type of marketplace. Zebec is not going to be held down by regulatory things at all. All regulatory things are being put into place right now. So it's quite possible that Zebec could be fast-tracked where, okay, it took XRP 7 years. It's only going to take Zebec 2. Maybe that. 3 at the most, right? Once they get that super app done, and all of these laws are in place, again, I don't know who said that whole 14-month thing. In 14 months, things could look a lot different here. 14 to 15 months. Let's Blackrue going to be fantastic. Let's go. According to Samuel Banner chart, the real moon time would be by 2032 onwards. Okay, that's interesting. 2032. What is that, 7 years from now? 7 years from now, I think these things would be crazy and amazing. Just look at TikTok and things like that. It's been like 7 years since we had TikTok. And TikTok, everybody uses TikTok now. In 7 years, I think things will be like way, way good. Let's see. Christopher Offut. 4-year cycle is over. Liquidity cycle represents 5.4 years for this current market. Well, we shall see. If everything starts heading up from here, I know Smoke and a lot of guys said the 4-year cycle is over, but it's looking like we're in a bit of a down period right now. So how long is this bear going to last? Let's see. Let's see. What's up, XVX Boy X Heel? What's up? Deutsche Bank is a Ripple partner. They're and also a ZBCN partner. Let's see. Awesome show, brother. What's up, King Channing? Let's definitely highlight our brother Channing's channel as well. Let me pull it up here. Channing came on our channel and broke down Quant. I think one of our really highest good shows too with Channing here. So definitely give Channing a follow here. My man has the greatest quant info out here. Him and our guy Max, of course. Definitely give our guy King Channing a follow. Today he's talking about the singleness of money in the IMF with Quant. And a couple of days ago, Quant and the London Stock Exchange. Ooh, juicy. A couple juicy shows from our guy Channing over here. Definitely give him a follow, guys, if you haven't already. Joe and Gret, do you feel the streaming payroll and streaming payments is the primary method of ramping retail to blockchain? I think the primary method of ramping retail to blockchain is going to be, and people don't want to hear it, but I think the primary method is going to be these dividend payments. I think they're going to issue them on stablecoins, and I think you're going to have to download an app to get it. And the way I think they're going to spin that is that to get the payment, you have to use stablecoin. You got to get a stablecoin because they already said. I think the government ended this on September that they send out checks for government stuff. So I think they were going to have to issue it on the stablecoins. And if they do that, they're going to onboard like 3 million people or something like that. So that's what I think is going to be the big kicker. But for that to happen, they first need the Clarity Act, or now as it's called, the Crypto Market Infrastructure Bill to pass. So nothing's happening until that happens first. So no T33, no, this 5.4 year liquidity cycle will hit 8T, but only, 8 trillion, but only if we run it. If the bear is not this time 100T by 2032, I agree and disagree. What's up, Caleb Shaw? 2030, it should be $1 for sure. I'm pleased you agree on some level. If we're going to be till 32, I agree. And it's a hodl. Ball games never get shook out. 100%. I live in the UK. Any thoughts on the future crypto in the UK? Well, the UK will have to come around. Again, good. We have King Channing's channel up here. Quant is very much a leader in the UK when it comes to crypto, and they're there right now. Simon Babacani's there with Zebec and all the things they're doing with Science Pay. So it'll happen in the UK, but I'm wondering how it's going to happen for retail investors. Because it seems like they're determined to limit retail people in the UK from investing. So I don't know how that's going to happen as far as the laws for the local person. If you want to invest in crypto, you might have to get out of the UK, but I don't know. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that because I think one of my subscribers, one of my Patreon members said they were limiting the amount that people could buy in the UK for crypto. So that is definitely a concern. So it may be that you might have to leave England if you want to invest in cryptocurrency properly. What's up, Phantom Beat? Ruel, my dear mom wanted me to tell you she thought Zell would have its own stablecoin, and she was right. I'm never going to hear the end of this, parents, I tell you. Yeah, and you know the mothers, they will never let us hear the end of it, too. They will never let us hear the end of it. Shout out to my mom, rest in peace. Rest in peace, mom. But you know it. You know it. You know they'll get you. They'll get you. Shout out to you, Phantom Beat. And shout out to Mama Phantom Beat too out here. That's awesome. Get your cash into crypto before they shut the doors on you in UK. January 26th. Banks will shut the doors and the government will F all the UK players over by forcing KYC. You got 2 months. Wow. Yeah, man, that's crazy. UK. I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that. What's up, Autumn Albert? Autumn Albert. Yes, ZBCN gang. Let's go. Appreciate you. Ship Focus with the love for King Channing out here. What's up, Daniel Green? Hi, everyone. Let's see. ZBCN, I'm on my moon, boy. What's up, Face Facts? What do you think caused the dip? Everyone's blaming it on Binance and Wintermute and all of this. But, you know, you know, though, everyone's blaming it on Binance, so I'll have to go with what everyone's saying, right? Binance and Wintermute probably caused this thing. It was a coding bug, so Tom Lee says. Let's bring that up. Let's bring that up. This is something I shared with the Patreon people yesterday. Shout out again to the Patreon folk. Let me bring it up in my history and we'll play it. This is what Tom Lee, holder of a lot of Ethereum with his company, this is what he said caused it. We'll share this.
Now is Fundstrat's head of research, CNBC contributor Tom Lee, also the chairman of Bitmine Immersion Technologies, an Ether Treasury company. All right, so Tom, you've heard what Steve had to say. This is, by the way, not unusual for NVIDIA, is it? NVIDIA, the good folks at Bespoke, your team, you've recognized that NVIDIA will often have these kind of wild swings following earnings, but what is your take right now on these markets?
Well, I think I'm going to kind of add to what Steve said. You know, I think the crypto market has been limping along since October 10th, because on that date was a negative shock. I mean, today's stock market looks a lot like an echo of what happened on October 10th. But on October 10th, that liquidation was so big, Brian, it really crippled market makers. And our market makers are critical in crypto because they provide liquidity. I mean, they act almost as the central bank in crypto. And if they've got a hole in their balance sheet that they need to raise capital for, they need to reflexively reduce their balance sheet, reduce trading. And if prices fall, they've got to then do more selling. So I think that this drip that's been taking place for the last few weeks in crypto reflects this market maker crippling. And so in 2022, it took 8 weeks for that to really get flushed out. We're only 6 weeks into it. So I kind of concur. I think crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum are in some ways a leading indicator for equities because of that unwind and now this sort of limping and weakened liquidity.
Well, that was the point that my very, very smart team behind me, we put together for the top of the show, which was showing that Bitcoin turned down today before the market did. All right, take us back. So October 6th, I think it was October 6th or 7th, Bitcoin hit 125,000. Yeah, a couple days later, it was still around 120,000. Now, obviously, Bitcoin's at 86 and change. So what specifically occurred on or around October 10th that would lead us to where we are now on what, November 20th?
Yeah. Well, Steve actually pointed this out. There's a lot of what they call automated processes in crypto One of them is called ADL, okay, and that's an automatic liquidation feature that would take place if someone's account or their collateral drops in price. It's essentially like a margin call. On a specific exchange, a stablecoin's price varied from other exchanges. It actually, stablecoin should stay at $1. It dropped to 65 cents. But that only happened within the exchange quotes, within this exchange because of liquidity. That triggered an ADL, an automatic liquidation across many accounts. It wiped out, as that spread across other exchanges, right? Because liquidations cascade, almost 2 million crypto accounts got wiped out, even though minutes before they were actually profitable accounts.
So who is
That
behind
has-
this? Like, who's the they in the market makers and they got hit? Who's the they?
Well, Brian, I am aware of names, but because I'm not someone who wants to name names, I think what you should keep in mind is that this error is actually essentially a bug, a code error, because I think in retrospect they would have pulled pricing from across exchanges to set the price for that stablecoin rather than rely on internal quotes. But this has resulted in a lot of market makers and traders having less capital, and as you know, as crypto prices drift lower because trading volumes drop, they need to then have more capital available, which means they shrink their balance sheet further. So this is then that reflexive weakening.
I want to go back to this point, Tom. I hate the term glitch. I can't stand the term glitch because, things go down to the airport and they say, well, a glitch clause, your flight did not take off. That's not a glitch. That's more than a glitch. It's a word that is used to describe pretty serious automation issues, software problems, crashes, for some reason that they try to minimize. Is this some kind of a software bug that's causing part of this? I'm trying to follow exactly what you're hinting around about.
Yeah, Brian, it is. For instance, in 1987, portfolio insurance was the quote glitch, and that triggered the cascade in 1987. And so the industry learned and then never offered that again. In 2009, it was really the collateral wasn't secure in real estate in these packaged subprime mortgages. Now, the industry learned and they recoded that. I'm talking about Wall Street, but then regulators came in and overregulated. That was the negative effect of that. In crypto, this code of ADL and the way they pull prices is never going to happen again. The good news is we're not going to have overregulation in crypto, but now we have to deal with that liquidation effect. 2022 was a big liquidation, and it took 8 weeks. But that is not kind of, you're right. It is the nature of DeFi where there is going to be code and there's going to be an error found, and you said it. Leverage is what's dangerous. And so investors should not be using excess leverage in crypto.
So that was interesting. So they say it's a glitch, it's a bug, glitch bug, however you want to put it, right? So funny, the one guy, he's like, I hate the word glitch. like he knows the difference between a glitch, a bug, a feature, you know what I mean? But this is what they say, some coding bug, some glitch caused the market to go down. So we got to take their word for it, I guess. That's what happened. So apparently there was a glitch and moved the stablecoin from, and I see somebody said it in the chat, from $1 to 65 cents, and that's what caused it. And someone named Wintermute is the people that had the glitch. I don't know. They say Binance. Who knows? But that's apparently the reason for the drop. Shout out to our guy Jetpack in here. Let me bring up Jetpack's. Let me bring up his Twitter. Another great follow on ZBCN here. Shout out to our guy Jetpack. Give him a follow, guys, if you haven't already. I knew it, bro. What's up, Tim Crompton? Stay away from the therapist because they're really, I'm at the point I'm not selling anything, buying and forgetting about it, seeking advice, not seeking advice. I'm not selling anything either. I'm in it for the long run, the long game. Even though the prices are not reflecting everything that's happening, we're seeing the changing of the laws. We're seeing things like the Clarity Act being we saw the Genius Act. The Genius Act it's done. It's written. It's in law. Clarity Act is coming. So things like the Metallicus lending platform can be advertised in the U.S. It is. People are lending with their crypto now. It's done. It's a done deal. President has a meme coin. You know what I mean? Like it's clearly happening. It's clearly happening. We got crypto ETFs where there were none. Okay, in America at least. So we have those. We got Zebec. We got Zebec in the index. Like things are moving, right? Crypto's way. So price is going to catch up with that eventually. How long it's going to be, can't quite say. But since I do know that it's going to catch up with it eventually, I just have to have the stomach to hold, right? We have to have the stomach. Big money institutions are manipulating the market. That's why you don't hear a reason why on the news the price dips. Yep. The only reason I ever used Gemini was because they were giving you free sats for signing up. That's funny, Pharmacopoeia. I think Zebec is, it is SOC 2 compliant as well. They told us that. They have it on the site. Let me start that. Trevor Thompson. Let's go to their site and show you that they're SOC 2 compliant. Here we go. SOC 2, MiCA. The FCA is in progress right now. We know that's the whole thing in England or the UK. But ISO might actually happen before FCA. So, excuse me. And that's just because of England and what they're doing, how they're getting down with cryptocurrency. So yep, they're MiCA and SOC 2 compliant. Yes, indeed. Christopher Offit. Big money institutions want to buy cheaper prices before it takes off because causing retail who brought high. Yep. Because remember, and I keep mentioning this, they just made a fast track for crypto ETFs. So basically, it's a fast track template so crypto ETFs can happen quicker, can get into law quicker. So it was very opportune for the market to drop right now because now they can get these cryptocurrencies at bargain prices, put them in their ETFs, and just hold. Why? What would they be holding for? For them to appreciate, for the laws to change, and for all the rails to get into place, for them to go up very, very high. And see, this is another difference between green energy or any other type of fad and cryptocurrency. You can tell the big companies, the biggest hedge funds, angel investors, all of these guys are scooping it up, putting it under their control, and getting ready for it to be what it's going to be, right? NVIDIA wasn't just NVIDIA right now, right? 24 years ago, when you could have had it at 480% less than it is right now, it was already like they were putting the things into motion for it to be the NVIDIA it is here 24 years later, right? So again, I don't think we're not going to have to wait 24 years. We'll have to wait at best, at most 7, right, to the 2032, but could be where everything's in place as quickly as next year, right? As far as like all the laws and all of that. Again, this is today. ISO went live for the rest of the world, so we're finally off the old system as official as today. So now let's see how it shakes out. What's up, Crypto Clay in the house? Sorry I was late. I was in a live with Bullzilla. Oh, cool. I had to talk to him, Bullzilla. A little overlap today with that Zebec ripping. Yes, indeed. That's one of my favorite sayings. Be chilling like a villain. Yes, indeed. What's up, Bugatti? Bugatti 1173. Big Doggity Doggeroo. Oh, what you do, cousin? When Zebec hits $1, gonna invite you to my yacht party, my guy. Hey, you know I'm coming too. You know I'll be there. Pause. You know I'll be there. Let me say that a little bit. Let me say that a little different. You know I'll be there for sure. When they confirm the next one, buy and first dip, it'll see. Not sure what that means. I'm loving Metallica's years of investing. I found my mate, my side chick, your side chick investment right there. I agree and disagree. Also, what does it hurt not? Caspa XX Network 20-year hodl in games. Do your own research with Javid Traum on the XX Network. Okay. I'm out. Nice update, Rue. Stay blessed, my guy. Appreciate you, brother. EU Stray DC. Appreciate you. Thanks for dropping some alpha in the chat as well. Appreciate it. Why did Omni Network do a rebranding to Gnome token? I just went ahead and brought some just in case it shoots up to $53. I don't know pharmacopia. I'll have to look into that one. Zebec Twitter already said they're ISO compliant. Saw Zebec ads at the Hawks game the other night. So cool. So you actually saw them because people keep saying that they haven't seen them. If you saw some Zebec ads at the Hawks game, I hope you have pictures. If you can share them to me, my DMs are open. I'd love to share them to people. Trevor Thompson, Swiftcoin up today too. That's right. What's up, Delta Ghost? Back in the house again. Stellar and Zebec. Appreciate you, Delta Ghost. I hate to hear that. So glad you're able to come out of that. Appreciate you guys. Glad you're okay, Brother Rue. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I thank God. It's such a miracle, man. Such a miracle. We need to worry about these data centers popping up, taking a lot of power, polluting towns nearby where they're built. Look at what's happening in Tennessee. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on that. I could go into that, man. Sun is hot, Ra. Glad you're still with us, Rue. Keep well. Yes, indeed. Doing looking good. God bless, brother. Appreciate it. Take some herbs as well to cleanse your blood. Yes, indeed. Yep. Health as well. Yep. I take tons of herbs. I drink the ginger for sure. Yep. Yeah. Let's share the health tips here, guys, for sure. Brother Root drink beetroot smoothies with kale, carrot, turmeric, and chia seeds. Yes, indeed. Star that. Everything that you said there is great. And ginger. Around when Rona was running wild, would do the ginger and the turmeric and whatnot. Also, the apple cider vinegar, the Bragg's, but Katy Perry changed the formula. Her and I think Bill Gates bought it, changed the formula, 100-year formula, crazy. Waiting on players Firelight so I can experiment, play with it, earn some passive income from my XRP. I'm trying to wait for that too. I keep looking for it, and I'm like, okay, where is it? Because they have some DeFi with XRP, but it's just DeFi, and I just want to stake. I don't want to play with the DeFi. So I wish they'd just hurry up and just do the staking part. All pumps are starting to retrace. What's up, Iris channel? Confident in my portfolio, XDC, HBAR, Velo, XRP, XPR, ZBCN, and Loan Protocol, and my long shot, Sora. What's up, Hugo Gutierrez? Monica Long is magically babylicious. Yes, she is absolutely fine. I love myself some Monica Long and some Tammy Camp out here. Polygon XLR. Rue, what's up, Bob the Builder again? Appreciate you, brother. Quant is better than XLR 100. I kind of rock with you on that opinion. I think Quant is a little bit better than XLR. Both are great. Both are great. But Quant, its use case of being kind of like the programmable piece of all of ISO. Yeah. Less than 12 months. Okay, Bob the Builder says less than 12 months out here. Nice. What's up, Multi Groove? Yep. More expensive, but worth it over XLR. ZBCN is going to move way faster. Yes, indeed. I don't think everyone is realizing how much XRP has cleared the way. Yes, indeed. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. I really don't think people realize how much XRP is cleared the way. I don't think people realize how much the Trump administration has put into place as far as laws and changing things legally for cryptocurrency. I really don't think people get it. And, you know, they're looking for the price, but they're not looking at how much infrastructure is already being laid out. So I think people are really, really missing that part. ZBCN should be 2 to 4 cents by the end of December. ZBCN will blow away XRP. Well, hey now, I don't know if I'll go that far, but ZBCN will have its own place. So will XRP. Made some of my family have digital wallets for the past 2 years. They're seeing the point. See, yep, that's good too. Yeah, I got both my sisters in as well, and they're seeing it. They're seeing the point as well. The ball moves faster and faster. Yep, just like a snowball. I agree. And, you know, I think people, you want to get in when the snowball's starting, right, guys? You don't want to be the one that's like, okay, now I'm chasing the big snowball. We're just at the point where it's rolling to become bigger, right? Imagine being in XRP at this point in time. This is what you have with ZBCN, right? This is what you have with this coin. Just image PA after staking at today's cost is going to be unreal. Yep. Where can you make 15% in 4 months for holding a token that's sitting, waiting to fly? Yes, indeed. That's true. That's true, guys. And I hope everybody's taking advantage of staking. I definitely am out here. And Swift has 10 billion in 4 years. Where will it be? ZBCN 0.00308. What's up, Hot Tart? Tom Lee needs to get a different game with otters to style his hair. Yeah, that hair is kind of looking bad out here for Tom Lee. It is. It really is. But I mean, it's Tom Lee. He's you know, bro has billions. He can find a new stylist for sure. Steak. For sake, ZBCN. 15% with love. Protect Tom Lee from Shook Focus. Amen. Thoughts on Linea? Linea is fine. But I think people are missing the point where XRP is still going to be king. Linea is going to be behind XRP. I definitely think people should take a look at our guy Jesse's videos. I'm going to see if I can have Jesse back on the channel in the next coming weeks. But bro's XRP videos are top notch. Let me see. Yeah. So if you really have questions about Linea and Linea versus XRP, come watch our guy Jesse. Okay, he came on the show, one of my highest rated shows. He does really, really give great information on XRP, and he has all this documentation over the years where I've never seen some of the documents that he's mentioned ever. But they're legit documents. Swift and XRP and Swift exposed the Swift and Linea lie busted. Check out that video, okay? Now, this is not to say that Linea won't have its purpose as far as Ethereum is concerned. But the prevailing thought that Linea is replacing XRP, no, that's not happening. Okay, crypto leverage is the devil. I mean, if you know how to use it right, it's fine. But it can be very, like, take, only a portion of your portfolio. We do advertise BTCC around here, okay? And if you know how to use it properly, it can be very lucrative for you as an investor. So I don't know that leverage is the devil. I would say usury is the devil. Like, ridiculously big interest rates and stuff like that. But leverage, if you know what you're doing, you can really make a lot of money. So, I'm in the UK. I think the limit on stablecoins is 20K. I'm still waiting to see what's said. Yep. Swift over 80% on the daily. Let's go. There's a lot of momentum right now. I can see 3 days pumps exceeding 25% before we cool off a little bit and pick back up where we left off. There could be 1% beyond 1 cent beyond December. Any thoughts on the X402 protocol? I know people have been hyping that up lately. I haven't taken my own look into it yet myself, so I have to look at that. I know that they say Zebec has this protocol, but I haven't done a big deep dive into it myself. Love Bullzilla, ruin Bullzilla, beating the drum. What's up, Mark Pelra again? Let's see here. Hey, Ruse, where's that epic video? You know what, K Lily? I do got to get that epic video out. I'll write that down here because I do want to do something on definitely look at Epic, guys. Is for like real world asset crypto on XRP, right? I think they have maybe even moved past Corium as the best real world asset crypto on XRP. But yeah, I had to get that video out. Epic video. I had to do something for that here in the next week. Especially now that I got a task at work done. I'm telling you. The life of a software engineer, man. Yep, I talked about Swiftcoin. What's up, Zombie Hunter? Thank you, Billy Williams. What's up, Bullish Choices? So yeah, guys. Nice long show, 2-hour show, and somehow my voice gave out only in 2 hours. But yeah, we'll be back in here probably either tomorrow or at least about Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, be on the lookout, and I'm out, guys. Thanks so much. Peace.